introduced us, but I'm going to take just a little break after that and stop shaking. That's how I was like way up there. Anyway, so we are one faith. We're from McAllister, Oklahoma, and we've been together all together about 7 years, but not the original members here. But anyway, we are just honored to be here with you. We thank you so much for having us because, you know, that's what we're called to do, is just minister the love of Jesus Christ to the broken, to those who no one else will accept, to those who are too dirty or unworthy to come inside the church building. You know, there are those that God has called to go out into the highways and the byways and just to love them and to love them to Christ. And so that's what the next song is about. It's Mike on the bass over here, and Caleb Cowan is rhythm guitar, LaDonna Dodd is backup vocals, and we got Jeff on the drums, Josh with guitar. My name is Amy, and these are all our original songs, but Caleb wrote this one, The Broken. So I just hope that it is. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I hope that it blesses you. Oh, should you unmute the acoustic, please? Thank you. got the word back, from Japan that it played on the radio in English, and they said that even though it was in English and they couldn't understand it, they were calling in and asking me to play it again. And if they're playing a song that can't be understood, it must be the Spirit of God reaching out over the radio waves. So it's really exciting. This is another song that was written by Caleb and Josh with the lyrics. So, you guys want to give out some CDs? Oh, okay. Caleb is giving out CDs right now, so enjoy it. This is really useful.
Inside this prison, held captive by the strength of my own feet, screaming out of pain, struggling against the very thing that could pull me out of here. The scarlet letter scream behind the leather cover hidden on the shelf. While the thoughts and whispers clamor for attention and send me crying out for help, release me.
God bless you.
Levi is selling out on the table, and it says a man of many words, and I think I'm going to get it. I want to share this with you guys. About 6 months ago, the Lord put a vision on my heart. Those of you guys that know me real close, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because I've been talking about it for over 6 months now at least. And this vision that the Lord gave me was a group of united, creative people who had gifts and talents.
Like God.
And they were, like God. And they were coming together at one place, using each one of their unique talents. And they were parts of the body, and they were different parts of the body, and they were feeding people, and they were fishing. They were becoming fishers of men. And they were using the talents that they had to bring people into them so that they could then utilize the spiritual gifts that God gave us. Preaching, teaching, prophesy, all kinds of things, apostleship, these things. And it's amazing to me that I see this vision, I start discussing it, I start talking about it, and the way that the God that we believe in has orchestrated this thing to come together. It's crazy, but it's how He does things. So I felt like I was talking to Jason, you guys who was hosting and emceeing, and talking to him about this event as it started to unfold, and he kind of said that, he felt like there should be something about us testifying, and I really liked that, and so we took the title for this event and called it Testify. So Levi is a very, very raw and real, and he testifies with his poetry, and I do the same with mine, and this one this was something I actually wrote just recently. The Lord gave it to me, and I'm going to start out telling the story in the poem, and I want to get real personal with you, and that's what it is. It's a real personal poem. So I really appreciate all you guys. So this is called The Running Man. So this morning, you see, I struggled to wake myself from my sleep, and I decided I would turn to putty in the hands of my Father and remain in my dreams, because somehow I know that I needed more time in that place where nothing distracted me. And even though it was time to get up and face my day at work, I wasn't worried, so I reset my alarm for 11:30. And when I finally woke up and my eyes were tired of being closed, so I opened them, and it was 11:24. Finally, I felt rested, and I knew it was time to put both my feet on the floor. See, driving to work, it was raining, a gentle spring downpour, and one thing about me is I love the rain, and when it rains, I never want to be indoors. And with every mile I traveled closer to a job that's beginning to feel like a distraction more and more, I began to think of everything I could be doing and getting done that pertains to the calling I've been called for. Listening to music on my way, praying my heart out, seeking solace in the knowledge I am called first to obey. By the time I pulled into the parking lot, words started to bounce around my head like an echo from a scream that I had prayed. Oh my God, I have been crucified. My flesh in judgment hung on the tree for all to see. Oh my God, I've come back running from dancing in the mire. I've come back running into your arms, not afraid to make you stain by my disdain. My faith, I know, is not me. It's not me who can change you, but you who does change me. And I know now, after years having eyes and minds so muddy that it's impossible for my field to make you dirty. Oh my God, I've come back running toward you, realizing the folly in Adam in hiding. I've so many years with the knowledge of evil, afraid your holiness would crush me, blinded by the lies based in just a little truth, thinking because you can have no part with sin, you couldn't have any part in it of me. So, oh my God, I've come back running to you, tired of thinking that I can find a place without you. Like Jonah, I was blinded by the lie that you only live in your commandments. And by choosing to refuse to do it, I could find a refuge of peace, hiding place away from you, away from the torment of disobedience. And just like him, I ran away from you many times past, thinking there's no going back, overwhelmed by the task you had asked that I go and attack. And inside me, fear and inadequacy began to sweep through every fiber of my being, and then crash! The colliding of those fears meet the thought of letting you down and not doing what you had asked at all, or if I tried, not doing it well. So once again, doubly overwhelmed, blinded by the lie that all you've commanded me to do, that I have to do it by myself. So, oh my God, I ran away from you, and wherever I went, you found me. The only thought I had left was to somehow try to avoid your judgment of me. It was to offer my life to you and die. leaping from the ship, throwing myself into your hands, hoping and praying for simply releasing blackness, hoping that you would allow me to say, I forfeit. Knowing the possibility was present, I would instead face your wrath and judgment, but I trusted you nonetheless. So that night, when I was just a boy, when I was 17 years old, tired from all the visions I'd been shown and all the truths I'd been told, and all the loneliness of thinking I was alone, I took 27 pills to sedate the beast inside my soul, and then I drank down the bottle of Southern Comfort in its hole. So, oh my God, I ran so far from you, only to be found and find out you are everywhere. I leapt into the sea, praying that the enmity between you and me, written on the slate of eternity that I believe was up to me to build a bridge of peace in order for you to reach, you would finally, by some shred of mercy, be wiped clean. I just wanted to sleep, for once not be plagued by the images of visions, but see nothing. You see, and like Jonah, you gave me 3 days. You see, I didn't even dream. For 3 days I lie there in that bed and my mother watching over me. And when the appointed time had been adjourned, you woke me from my sleep and you said to me, rise now, child, and live for me. I granted you your wish, now accept this gift I've given for free. So, oh my God, I do not walk, but I run back to you. And all my filth and grime in plain view, boldly singing, hallelujah, hallelujah, I am made new. The darkness and dirt caked onto me, cracking and breaking off as the light inside of me breaks through more and more. The closer I am to you, from faith to faith I grow, from glory to glory I go, and we commune. So now, oh my God, I know your love for me, and my faith is that I cannot make you dirty, and you have no desire to hurt me, but instead to turn me into a friend, a flame, a fire, burning, preaching, piercing the darkness, searching for all those just like me. All the Jonahs whose souls and flesh and spirit are churning in warfare, running from the calling because of lies they've been told and learning that they're not worthy. So God, I am now running beside you, burning brightly from within, your love for me consuming all my sin. Oh God, I'm running with you, carried in your arms, and you call me friend, shrouding and shouting it proudly to all who can hear while we sprint. So God, you and you in this room listening to me today, come, join and run with. Oh God, I am running because you are. I am you and you are me, and I am you. We are made one within. I am bone of your bone, soul of your soul, spirit of your spirit, and skin of your skin. Thank you. When I was 17, I tried to kill myself. I testify to that. And I should have been dead. I really should have been. But God saved me and He gave me another chance. Give me a second chance, a second hope. He'll do it all for all you guys. The truth is that you can't run from God. You can't run from what He's doing for you. You can't escape Him because He's everywhere. And just like I realized, it was just like Jonah. Jonah tried so hard to outrun his callings, and you can't, you guys. God created you to be a certain something. Whatever that thing is, you are that. You don't have to believe it to be. You don't have to believe that you are what God called you to be for it to be true. You are that. You're just living a lie if you're not walking in it. I just encourage all you. I thank you so much for letting me testify to you tonight and share a bit of my story, and I hope it blessed you guys. So, are you guys ready up there?
Later to get where I'm going, need a million escalators. I'm headed to the top like I'm on an elevator. Boots on a rocket like I'm heaven's skyscraper. Christ on my mind, yeah, He is the risen Savior. No Jedi mind trick, but I got a lightsaber. Name's not Luke, but I am a Skywalker. Holy Ghost blood, Darth Vader ain't my father. Imagery so good you can hear me scream on the track with my best pair of sneakers, so my knees don't attack. Follow the leader, I ain't got no time to slack like the cops are on my back. Now that's a cross on that. Matthew 16:24, you need to read the vaccine. Stick it to your eyes like a pair of contacts. This is holy optometry, but Dr. Abstract. Yo, cut it. Hey, how we doing tonight, Oklahoma City? Oklahoma City, how we doing tonight for God? Alright, can we come up here? Come up here, get out of your seats. It's okay. Come on, I'm not going to eat your Butterfinger. Come on. Come on, let's rock out for Jesus. Get up here. All right, so check it out. All right, you ready? Okay. Everybody put your hands up like this. All right, now drop it. Now pick it up. Now drop it. Now pick it up. Now drop it. All right, you just worked out with the fat man. All right, so check it out. All right. Woo, I need an inhaler. Okay, so here we go. This next track, you want to get on stage? All right, so check it out. Okay. All right, this next track, all right. Here, I'll spit some a cappella for y'all, all right? Listen, all right, you ready? Check it out. Woke up in a world wandering in the wilderness, thinking everything bliss, so fresh, so clean, so glamorous. But the aftermath, I never asked for this. Asked for what? Pop these pills, tip that cup till seizure in, then throwing up. I'm just like you just like me. Even though the history used to be no seeds in the trees, and I got them keys, but I ain't from Florida. Pull up to the window when I had you older, smoking them bricks across the border. Yeah, I flipped my zips till I kept my quota. Keep my eyes peeled for them cows with the guns in the holster. Cause they was out to roast you, put you in cuffs, then straight up roast you, the soldier. Then it travels on, seems all good in the roots, and keep holding on, till he frees you from your prison at the break of dawn. Y'all like those effects, don't y'all? Alright, so, let's go back to track number 2.
Your phone ain't a dodo.
We'll play that one here in a second. Yeah. Alright.
Hey, I'm a man,
Alright, this goes, hey, it goes, hold up, here we go, swag like Jesus, head to toe. Turn me up a little bit. Listen, they kick like Karate Kid. That's that track, how we do it big. Burn my flesh, that's my biz. Swag like Jesus, you know what it is. Defense up like a new from food. I'm always real like you. What you think people say to do? It's like the world, they know it's true. This life so tight, just feel it in. Fishing hole with a whole lot of men. A whole bunch of sin like dying in. We break it down walls with attitudes. We do what's right, not be rude. Don't just stand in. Here we go, you ready? Listen. Hold up, here we go. Swag like Jesus, head and toes. Scream out loud, let the whole world know we start to show. We change the road. Give me room, we surfing bros. Swag like Jesus, head and toes. Scream out loud, let the whole world know we save the show. We change the road. Hold up, here we go. Swag like Jesus, head and toes. Scream out loud, let the whole world know we save the show. We change the road. Give me room, we surfing bros. Swag like Jesus, head and toes. Scream out loud, let the whole world know we save the show. Easy bread, arcade, legal ocean. Work so smooth like lotion. Let's go. Check the bottom of the ocean. No more waves like we be flowing. Why you posting, getting motion? Many are called up for chosen. Straight like Jesus, get in promotion. Like that, like straight exploding. Brand new style like we in shot. Look so fresh around the clock. The way we talk, the way we walk. Old man's gone out, line and jump. Who's amazing what we got? Know what it is, but they do not. Expect it to we like it a lot. Here we go, y'all ready? Hold up, here we go. Swag like Jesus, head to toe. Scream out loud with the whole world knows. Take the show, we changes, bro. Give me room, we surfing, bro. Swag like Jesus, head to toe. Scream out loud, let the whole world know we take the show, we changes, bro. Hold up, here we go. Swag like Jesus, head to toe. Scream out loud, let the whole world know we take the show, we changes, bro. Give me room, we surfing, bro. Swag like Jesus, head to toe. Scream out loud, let the whole world know we save the show, we changes, bro. Listen, man, hold up. I just want to make one thing clear. Listen. Swag like Jesus cannot be bought. It has nothing to do with the fresh clothes, clean pigs, and new you. Swag like Jesus is a gift from God, freely given to all who knows. It's given. Look at that boy, he changed his life. Swag like Jesus, he's so tight. Look at that girl, she breath the light. Swag like Jesus, she's so bright. Someone sticking out just like today. Down in the zone, can't touch the basement. Easy like Christ, grind on the daily. Get up and surf, let's not be lazy. Why those Christians be so crazy? Doing what's right, acting shady. It's so sweet, got sweet like a pastry. Swag like Jesus, she done it lately. Sun has been like a tidal wave. The old man's gone, that's yesterday. I'm signing off, and yes, I praise. Here we go, last time. Hold up, here we go. Swag like Jesus, head to toe. Show me changes, bro. Give me room, we surfing, bro. Swag like Jesus, head to toe. Scream out loud, let the whole world know we save the show, we changes, bro. Hold up, here we go. Swag like Jesus, head to toe. Scream out loud, let the whole world know we save the show, we changes, bro. Give me room, we surfing, bro. Swag like Jesus, praises, bro. Woo! Oklahoma City, how we doing tonight? Y'all ready to testify? All right, check it out. All right, so this next track, all right, y'all feeling good? Y'all feeling good tonight?
Your smartphone in the dodo?
Yeah, no, we're gonna do, yeah, go ahead and do track number 4.
4, man.
What's on track number 4?
Track number 4.
Yeah, this is it right here. If y'all got a smartphone, an iPhone, you know, Android, pull it out of your pocket. Ready? Ready? Calling God, but it never dials through. No, your smartphone in a no-no, it's really just you. You say he don't answer, and I know it be true. It's because you continue to do what you do. You think you calling God, but it never dials through. No, your smartphone in a no-no, it's really just you. You say he don't answer, and I know it be true. It's because you continue to do what you do. You got to pay attention, answer or listen to the son of perdition. Like eyes up in the kitchen, suggestion, divine intervention. We call it permission. You need to check your number. In the middle of disaster, you call upon a master, looking for some answers, cause you press on matter. And you like cancer, cause God don't respond. From like is picky on, you can hear the dial tone. It's really dial tones, the king on the tone and the megaphone, screaming to your eardrum, blowing. I know you have it known, cause your brain's stolen off that homegrown. Yeah, you gone, like E.T. from home. You think you calling God, but it never dials through. No, the smartphone and the no-no, it's really just you. You say you don't answer, and I know it be true. It's because you continue to do what you do. You think you calling God, but it never dials through. No, the smartphone and the no-no, it's really just you. You say you don't answer, and I know it be true. It's because you continue to do what you do. At your cell, you got plenty of bars, but sin interfering and you full of garbage. You might be in the desert, but this ain't no mirage. You're still into the walls, reset you to walk it balls. Doesn't ask you a question, it is that you call. Is sin in your life, is it Buddha or Allah? Cause Peter paid the price to forgive you of it all. His name is Jesus Christ and he answers the call. No matter what sin you've been living in or what you're going through, yeah, I'm talking to you. He's waiting on you to call on him and change what you do, cause he is your friend. You think you calling God, but it never dials through. No, the smartphone and a no-no, it's really just you. You say he don't answer, and I know it be true. It's because you continue to do what you do. You think you calling God, but it never dials through. No, your smartphone and a no-no, it's really just you. You say he don't answer, and I know it be true. It's because you continue to do what you do. Excuse me, God bless you. I think I'm sick, that's why I'm spitting swine flu. Who knew? Pigs flew or fly when I tell you why. You can't call on yourself, you can go ahead and try. Your battery is low. No. You're moving fast like it's 4G, yo. You need to be cool, need to play it slow. Flex you like butter, baby, now you all up on that road. Or a biscuit on the chef, I mix it up like biscuit. Break it down scientifically, my words so prolific. Like you didn't know, I'm keeping it cool, spitting it cold, leaving your roads from head to toe. Like an Eskimo, I'm calling on God, trucking the juice, I'm out. But it really don't your smartphone and no, it's really just you. You say you don't answer, but it never dials through. No, your smartphone and no, it's really just you. You say you don't answer, but I know it's true. It's because you continue to do what you do. All right. Like a ninja, I'ma slash any demon in sight. Raise the dead and bring the dark to the light. It ain't a mystery that misery loves company. Verbally, somebody called the doc urgently. Circumcision of the heart, that's surgery. Make the sin disappear like David blamed. For you to live as Christ didn't die as gain, or as thorns with the whips and the pain. Death resurrect would be in vain. I'm ready to chop, dice, slice with an uppercut. Faster than 10 men in a deli serving cold cuts. Like FedEx, I'm on the rush to be in one accord. The umbilical cord with the double-edged sword. Alright? So,
All right.
Oklahoma City, I want to tell you guys, I love y'all. Thank you for having me tonight. I hope y'all enjoyed these tracks. And I want everybody to know, if you need prayer, there's a lot of Christians here. If you need prayer and maybe you're hesitant to go up to somebody else, you can come up to me, you guys. I will pray with any one of you. If you're a woman, I'm married. My wife would like to pray with you too. Her name is Nicole. And she's back there. And I really love you guys. Thanks for having me tonight. God bless y'all.
Amen.
His life and the gift that he's given. And he's going to have some questions. He's going to have some Q&A time with you guys. If you have any questions about him, his poetry, or anything, if you just have questions about God, he's going to fill you in on that because he loves you and he's about community. He's about what God wants. So please, put your hands and your feet together for Levi, the poet. Brothers, don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
I know.
That's why I snapped that hand away.
I slapped your hand away.
I slapped your hand away.
I did.
I slapped
I
his
did.
hand away. I slapped his hand.
I slapped his hand away.
See, I was nice, so you can't even argue with her. Hi, everyone. Hey, what's up? No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I think so. We're gonna try. I'm gonna try and get it. Oh, wait. Well, yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Hey, everybody. How are y'all? My name is Levi. I do poetry. I call myself Levi the Poet, and it seemed like the best thing to call myself. That's any testament to my creativity. You're welcome to leave. Hey, so I have a thought. My thought is we should, well, I don't know if this is going to mess up the camera thing, but my thought is that maybe I could turn on some of these house lights a little bit, because then I just am all about seeing people's faces. So I always start off shows cold, so I have these sweaters, and this sweater, and then I always get hot like a minute in, so that's just the way it goes. The truth is, I hated talking in front of people forever, and so I feel like maybe God just has a really big sense of humor, and He wanted to see if I would pee my pants in front of everybody for a living for a really long time. So now I have to be talking in front of people. That's really great. How many of you have seen this before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so this half of the room. It's like a super click ball, but that's alright. Cool, thanks for coming back. It's been a couple of years since I've been in Oklahoma City. I was here, well, I guess I was in Tulsa at a venue called the Marquee a year and a half ago or so with a bunch of hardcore bands. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I started touring with like death metal bands and stuff like 6 years ago, and got married to my wife a couple of years ago. And she's awesome. And we lived in an RV with 3 other people right after our honeymoon, and we all toured together with them and their dogs and whoever else happened to be living in the RV at the time. We had a curtain, and our bed was in the cabin, you know, the cabin above the driver's seat. That was our bed. And so we stopped doing that because we decided we didn't want to live in an RV with 3 other people and their dogs and whoever else happened to be there anymore. But we're still touring together, and that's really nice. So we just started this tour 2 days ago. We had a show in Amarillo last night. We're going to be out for 6 weeks, going over to the East Coast and doing a bunch of different stuff. And I can tell you more about all of that afterwards. If anybody has any questions about anything, I would be more than happy to answer. See, there's already some questions happening. I'd be more than happy to answer some of those questions. Not because I'm so all-important that you need to know my answers to your questions, but just maybe because you might have some questions. So, that's that. Anybody see Man of Steel?
Yeah.
It was awesome. It's times like these that I used to be a lot closer to God. Oh, I got friends that don't know him at all, but when I miss him, oh, it's a shame that they don't know what they're missing. Well, this will destroy you is my writing music. And their progression makes me feel like I'm progressing through or past all of the empty inspiration and into something that might last. Like letters to lovers could transcend their pages and cut deep into the heart of the receiver. Well, I read a love letter labeled emotion, signed with hate, loved the deceiver, and frankly, I couldn't love him more. Well, I don't know what's in store for us, but I know that not every glorious answer to prayer is from God. And some of those voices are not him speaking at all, but it's so simple to convince yourself that it's the Spirit talking to you, like each convenience is a virtue. Look, if practice makes perfect, I'm going to pretend my way into feeling until I finally love my neighbor. But son, you're not writing out a single thing that's actually close to your heart. And I know the music tugs at its strings, but it hasn't pulled it apart, and you've been writing for everybody else for so long that you don't know who you are. As I swear the only way you find yourself nowadays is in these pages. I mean, in those days was in those pages. Look, I have not written for days and days and days and days and days, and there's a time for everything that's under the sun, and this one has run its course. I swore up and down that there was more to pour out, but it's all forced, and I don't know anymore. That sadness became my comfort, and maintaining it became my chore. There's a time to weep, and a time to mourn, and a time to laugh, and it is fighting for its place in a time of war. There are still monsters in my closets, Father. And I can feel the shadow people hiding in the hallways. Are they ever going to stop sneaking up behind me? And is anyone else my age still afraid of a black night? And do you run in the dark in a panic for the light? Well, it's the sunken, disappointed creeping through my stomach in the morning, rise and follow, lungs on the verge of collapse, keeping me from talking to God. It's the sunken, swollen eyelids making love to all things permissible, but proven hardly profitable at all. It's the walls, thick as paper. I mean, thin as paper, thicker thin as paper, as thicker thin as the brown pajama bottoms, patiently passing as a passive activist for abstinence in between thick skin. It's the walls, fragile as paper, and I can't feel you through. It's all vanity and vapor, and I cater to my emotions, as I am the most important person in my universe. And locking fingers with both God and Satan, so that after I made love to the devil, I can stay on my knees and start praying.
Come on. Whoa.
There's a time to weep and a time to heal. And I am numb cuddling with these werewolves. And I know that there has got to be a time to feel. And the time is long past to cast away these stones. I'm still broken, but I know that you can rebuild these bones. I keep looking back before I go forward. I just want to go home. I've got no plan B. I'm just running for home. I'm still dragging, but I just want to make it home. And I hate every single piece of my art. I am not passionate about anything, but I know that you are. That's why I flock to you. I wonder how you keep your fingers moving. I wonder how panic and age haven't managed to stand in the way of keeping your writing from improving. When I was a boy, I loved to draw outside of the lines, and in my dinosaur coloring books, I had a mind for how the pterodactyls were supposed to look, so I took all of the brightest colored crayons and held them all in my hands and made the ideas mine. Drew an image into the idea of what being God was like. Like if I want to distort this image, well, I made it, didn't I? I created it, didn't I? I turned a blind, ignorant eye as a child. The signs you can't miss when you're older. Oh, I betrayed faith to logic and age, and even though you can't walk past these walls, you can still turn a cold shoulder. Well, the truth will set you free.
that there has been more fear and freedom than there ever was in infancy. So said the sinner to the saint. Do you ever wish that the dealer shuffled your cards a different way? Inside of an inebriated city, the gutters sang from underneath our feet in the form of steam that made its way up through the manholes, splitting the lines in the sand by steel bars beneath the beat. Look, you were made of one. Tonight, I fell off of it completely, so said the saint to the sinner. Yeah, man, God, these streets defeat me. We all wrote our songs on all of our hearts before we poured them into yours. And they made their way from ink on a page to words uninhibited by lips on a stage, to ink beneath your pores. Look, my great-grandfather would have never bothered to ask what my arms mean, but he'd have been damned before he'd have ever been seen publicly the way that he died, privately. And she told me that her God, he was beautiful. Yeah, but I have not complained about every ugly thing that he's done, that he does for the sake of saving face. And if there is such a thing as grace, well then I will assume either that I have not earned it, or he's exhausting it all on you. So don't you worry about a thing. I'm sure that your God's got you, just like a puppet on his string. Yeah, let's all not worry about anything. 'Cause I'm sure all our gods have got all of us all like puppets on their strings. But she had a stained glass window for a heart, a shoebox for a chest cavity, and a kaleidoscope for a soul, and to reflect its light back at me. Depending upon the day, she shone different colors. She had a handful of favorites she kept locked inside her cupboards. She's got drawers in her stomach. Knows how to swallow her pride, but it gets compartmentalized in the crawl spaces and builds up inside. She says she's fine, but she lies. She wears sunglasses all of the time to try to hide her eyes, and at night she stays out of the shadows. It's one of the only times that her true color shines. She said, look, you're talking about me like you know what I mean, but you know nothing. Nothing at all about leading my life. But baby doll, my heart is as black as my lungs are. I keep bitterness in these cabinets next to all my bad habits. You either find faith or lose it. You either had it or have it, and I have had it. So I'll wear my smiles on the good days, and I'll keep in these baskets where my grimmest face in life without the opiate for the masses. You all pop your God. Just like these pills that I take to bear the circumstances. What's the difference? I'll call out to your God and he never listens. You call it praying? Well, I'm just wishing that things would have been different. She said her daddy didn't want her, so she squanders to be the mother-father figure for her daughter. A piece of clay, recreating herself as this beautiful basin in the situation that she's been placed in, built for retaining life. A feet manufactured without the proper water or a potter, and her heart, it cuts like a knife. It's priceless. It's as hard as a diamond, but she's been selling it for nickels, and everybody's been buying. So now there's cracks in the basin, the way there's cracks in the basement. The place that daughter's daddy beat her in. God, he beat her in when she dared to face him. Where there's cracks in that cement that she can dig her high heels in while she waits for another customer to come and pour his water in. She said her mama was a little bit crazy, a little lazy, a little biased towards the media mainstream. Prone to feigning or naming it feigning when she'd pass out after blazing. Just after Papa came home, late for the hazing, the alcohol made him crazy. That's when I started praying. Praying. Nothing started changing. So that's when I started blaming. Blaming, we are all on our own. You're all alone! There's nothing in those stars. There is no hand out there to save me. Could you save her? Save me. She loved Vogue and American teen magazines almost as much as she loved vomiting. Try to match the model women that you'd see on the movie screen. Said, look, I believe that she loved me, and maybe it's a fantasy, but I think that she cared for me like she cared for methamphetamines. Don't tell me that I need saving. You point your fingers so righteously at all these people, pushing at me to practice their piety while I gave your God a chance to save me. Thank you kindly. Greatly, but it's just me and my baby, me and my little girl, us against the world. So sweet dreams, daughter. I'm gonna be your mother. I'm gonna be your father. And every time another man, just like her father, bought her, she spent the nickels on diamonds for her daughter. She had prisons for eyes. And one time she took off her mask and let me inside. I paid her for her time. Told her that she was valuable, and she replied, I am about as valuable as the next man in line. I came to tell you that you're beautiful. I think that you're lovely. I think that you're made for more than you settled for. She said all of them. Every single one of them tell me that they love me. I used to dream. I used to have big plans. I used to believe that there was somebody out there that was bigger than me, and that he would take care of me, and that I could grow up to be whatever I wanted to be. Well, I guess it's too late for me, so I started selling my dignity to give my daughter that dream. And to make it a reality. I used to dream. I never meant to quit. Who's to blame? I will never mention it. The hands that were dealt, I don't understand. And I don't have all of the answers. And I don't know all of the plans. I just wanted to tell you that you're beautiful. I think that you're lovely. I think that I know love that loves the unloving. She said you told me that your God was gorgeous, and I just can't see it. I want so badly to see color. I want so badly to believe it. I keep an ounce of hope inside of one dresser drawer in my chest. Every now and then, it grows if watered to a seedling at best. And one time it grew and it stretched through the cracks all the way into the next. But I just can't make it blossom, because I just can't make myself forget. And now there's nearly nothing left. She's got a kaleidoscope soul, man. She's got grayscale lenses. She's got wrought iron bars, and they make up all of her defenses. She's got all of her emotions hung up on hooks in her closets. She's got little hints of happiness tucked away inside her locket. She's got high hopes of heaven stapled to the doors of her cabinets. She wraps the hopes up in packets of personal baggage to mask it. She's got angels. She's got angels. And they're all singing to her from the lips of ballerinas in a music box. She keeps them locked behind this door, cemented to a heart of rocks, but if you knock long enough, they say that door could be open. Here's to hope, and until then, I just wanted you to know that you are so very beautiful. I think that you're lovely. I think that you're made for more than you settled for. She said, I get that. I think I get that, but all of them tell me that. They all tell me that they love me, but I think that you are gorgeous. I swear it's true. I swear that there is more hope out there for you. And I poured myself the stiffest drink that my stomach could stand. I thought Connor would be proud of the man that I am. And listen to a friend's local band jam old Van Morrison covers. Well, man, it's a god-awful night for a moon dance, and my dad used to sing along to the stars up above in your eyes. It's a fantabulous night to make romance neath the cover of October skies. But a California show. So here I am, the end all, who's come to judge and decide whether all of God's reasons for letting you die are damnable or worthy of praise or detestable pride. I liked you that way. So do I rage at the potter for destroying the clay that he made like we're somehow entitled to more than this? Or do I praise the maker for giving and taking away? If you told me that life was not meaningless, well then this life is not meaningless. So to dust we go, and from dust we came. Blessed be your name. Naked we come, and naked we remain. Blessed be your name. I said I do 2 months after my dad disappeared, and he was supposed to be the priest that married me. Daughter, your father loved you more than I feared you will ever be able to see. But I need you to receive it. As there were nights that he'd fight to stay alive just to see you breathe. And I'd step out the front door and toss up my keys to leave and breathe a sigh of relief while he wept bitterly, never believing I believed that he loved me. Wife, your husband loved you more than his life, and I think that maybe he thought that he gave you yours back. Every old photograph is a painful reminder of what we had. I was one with someone, and now I am but a half. Dear world, I wrote to tell you that the sun was shining down on Southern California today. And I wish that you could have been there to see it. In the end, maybe God will piece all of our dead bones back together again. And me and my dad's skeletons will drive too fast over the whoopie. Dear Dad, Van Morrison will always remind me of you. And it stones me to my soul to know that you were the ghost inside our kitchen window, but not as much as it stoned you. I hope you finally escaped that window frame that held you captive for all of these years. Dear God, I've got a lot of fear. And are you big enough to handle all of my fear? And what will you handling it look like from here? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Dear God, we've got a lot of fear, and are you big enough to handle all of our fear? And what exactly will you handling it look like to us from here? And do you hear us? Do you ever talk back? Good God, we've got a lot of fear. Are you big enough to handle all of our fear? And what will you handling it look like from here? And do you hear us? Do you hear us? I am as empty as all of these pages start out before I fill them. But I've not filled one up yet, God. I've not filled one up. And I've heard it said that a blank page is a blank page for a new beginning. So may the choices that we make, well, Christ, if we're being frank, then at times I feel like you've got writer's block. It's a tempting thought because, I get that a lot. And I keep wondering whether or not it makes you more relatable. If you made yourself available to sympathize with my temptation, and there's got to be a correlation between the album I can't complete, the way my wife pushes me to be a man that I can't see, and the overwhelming fear of art that's a product of my apathy, and that's all that'll ever be. Or worse yet, and the sum total of critique at the expense of creativity. Dear Dust, my soul clings to a lot of idols you construct, and I wish that I could just let my God be God and his gifts be gifts. And let my Savior be my Savior, and let my money be what it is, but I got a wife. So I justify the worry for the sake of our future kids, and the life that I feel like I'll have failed my son for, like my father did. And no matter how hard it gets, with every single day I wake within this narrative I live in, there is no security for me unless it's a story that you've written. It'll always be a mystery to me that before I was, it was finished. It'll always be a mystery to see the mirror reflect your image. Look, you're the only hope I have. All of my stories leave me wanting. All the ghosts I've conjured up in the past, man, they threaten to come back to haunt me. They act like a foundation. If you made yourself available to sympathize with my temptation, then there's got to be a correlation between the artist and his drawing. The perfecter shading in the final scene that I can't see, and the ink that is the very fabric of his nature flowing through you and me. And that said author wrote himself into the story. So may that ink spill out onto these pages and bring you glory. Dear friends, I love you with words no poet could ever pen. I love you with a heart that weighs as heavy as the ocean. And I will love you with a depth that reaches to its floor. And when its floor opens up to swallow me whole, and I am no more, the only word that will live on will be that which was never born. Look, I sought the Lord. And afterward I knew that he moved my soul to seek him, seeking me. It was not I that found, O Savior true, no, I was found of thee. Thou did reach forth thy hand in mine and fold. I walk in saint, not on storm-vexed sea. 'Twas not so much that I on thee took hold, as thou, dear Lord, on me. I find, I walk, I love, but all the whole of love is but my answer, Lord, to thee. For thou wert long beforehand with my soul. Always thou lovest me, dear friends. Dear saints, your story is secure. We are all more free together, tethered to our Maker, than we ever were before. May our adoption be secure. The only word that will live on. The only word that will live on. The only word that will live on will be that which was never born, but he was born. I sought the Lord, and it's like he answered all of my prayers, and now I resent him for it. And I used to take so much time for myself to just sit and be silent. I haven't heard that sound in years, but I replaced it with a lot of voices that claimed to be God. The first poem I ever wrote was about San Francisco and the homeless and what I was told. I was 12 years old, and I rhymed "poor white bro" with chips from Nabisco, given to a beggar as he pushed his cart down the road. That boy got buried at Haight and Ashbury beneath the Ben and Jerry's in a big city and a pretty girl, and the only thing that he needs to get his heart to beating again. This all used to be for nothing and no one, and now I shout transparency, but I miss every single one of my secrets. I would rather know pain than be numb, but then again, we ask for the opiates to numb the pain for us. Well, I always fall asleep to dream of mending up my wounds, then wait to spend the day reliving every bruise for the sake of a sad song. Or a sweet repose, seeing the blood flow from the stitching like it were a cavalry of demons in retreat, promising to leave me alone. They are liars. They're liars! The release has never been as satisfying as the promise to fix what's been sown. We get bottled up like the alcohol gets bottled up, and then we bottle it up in us. And I search for ways to define myself by some skeptical lack of trust, because if I can't trust in anything, I'm not to blame for my lack of movement. And I can abuse all of you, and all of your pity, and I can convolute it. Well, my sister used to sing when she was younger, but the world got at her throat. And she put that dream away while coming of age, acted as a serpent, and questioned her home. When I was younger, I wanted to be a cowboy. Obviously.
Then I wanted to be Superman. Also obvious. And then I wanted to wear my fake green snakeskin Walmart plastic cowboy boots over my red inside-out underwear, blue sweatpants, blue long sleeve shirt, sketchy, tattered red bath towel cape, rope neck, iron-on Superman costume logo thing, and be cowman. Well, I am a cow! Man said all of my fantasies about my wife-to-be were based upon things I should have never seen. So all of our fantasies about our wives-to-be were based on positions that should have never been idolized by our eyes. Worshipped as though they gave us life, but that's the nature of the beast. And he still squirms next to wisdom as she screams, clawing for me on the streets. And how does life begin as a seed? And it turns out to scream for something. Like someone misnamed gift, for to be inherently found wanting, if there is so much joy to be had. And tell me where I went wrong. As for all of the times I tried to satisfy my mom, I still cannot write one joy-filled song. So Mom, I tried. I tried. And come October, I thought that I could do it. But November threw us into a whirlwind again. And come January, I knew it. All of the things that I told my fans about the hope that I had found are lying in a hotel bathroom in a puddle of blood on the ground. And somebody will love it because it's honest. And somebody will hate it because it's crude. As for me, every time I stand and give my testimony to a crowd, I will lie awake at night and wonder about whether or not I told the truth. God forgive me! I believe a lot of lies that come from the mouths of a lot of good liars, namely me. I'd rather tie a millstone around my neck and throw myself into the sea than perpetuate some emotionally driven blasphemy that you don't care for the suffering servant. Give your children eyes to see the wonders that you have for them and ears to hear the direction for their wandering feet. Grieve with me. Will you grieve with me? Look at the cross, the promise we receive. I will grieve with you with groanings too deep for words. I will sympathize with the temptation to believe the lies that you have heard. I will mourn over the loss of finite family and friends, and I will defeat death so that you will know that death is not the end. At the cross of Christ I know that the bonds of sin are broken. That they bore the gates of hell for me, and that heaven's doors are open as wide as my sweet Savior's arms were stretched out when he died, and the love has defeated death with the life for me to hope in. At the cross of Christ, I know that despair has been removed. That it drowns beneath the crushing weight of hope is found in you, as blood spills and puddles to cover every self-inflicted bruise. Murder becomes salvation, the resurrected truth. At the cross of Christ, I know that anger has found its vengeance. That righteousness became sin for you and me, and that only at the remembrance of a man acquainted with sorrow do I stand forgiven in my resentment, as wrath and justice turn aside to crucify my defendant. At the cross of Christ, I know that shame has lost its place. That Jesus Christ endured the curse and scorned all of the disgrace and atoned before the throne as death fled without a trace, that I might enter in
that we might enter in and look full on his wonderful, good, joy-filled face at the cross of Christ. I know. I know. When I was six years old, I saw my first Goosebumps episode. On Nickelodeon. Okay, time out. So on the last tour, somebody told me that it wasn't on Nickelodeon and that it was on CW Family. And I would just like to say that they're wrong. Either that or I'm wrong for like 6 years. And I could be wrong, but I just really love to believe that they're wrong. And that stupid TV show made me so scared of werewolves that I was afraid to walk into the dark for months on end. I guess not a whole lot has changed since then, except for now, these monsters are personified within, and I go to sleep with them. And I cuddle with them, and I dream about them, and I pretend that I'm 7 years old once that fear has finally gone away, until I saw my father's ghost inside my childhood home's window panes, and some silent shadow matter followed me around the halls of my house when I was 8, so I held on to the belief there's something dark lurking around my family to this day. And I used up all 999 lives, so by the 10th time I die, I'm going to be right by your side, and we'll both agree that we tried to land on our feet. You poor boy, I don't even believe in demons. I know, man, I know, me neither. Nobody does. Nobody believes in demons until you've seen them. But, I don't smoke that gun. And I'm not gonna smoke that ganja. Because 1, I don't believe it's what I need. 2, I got married to my wife a couple years ago, Brandy. And she frickin' killed me. And 3, all of my friends already smoked enough of that weed for 2 or 3 of my lifetimes. And I fell apart while I watched them fall apart. So I figure I got enough falling apart in my system already. And I'm scared for my family. I'm scared the werewolves are gonna keep attacking my dad. They already killed him. The swelling spreading to my mom's side of the bed. I've been thinking way too hard lately about getting some meds to help clear up this depression. It's clouding my head, but those tiny little red and white and black and blue and green and yellow and orange pills scare me half to death. When I was little, my mom, she hung this elephant on my wall. This is a drum stool. But, if you have a really vibrant imagination, it could be an elephant. A big, freaking purple, quilted, terrifying elephant that my grandmother made with the help of Satan. And I had to pray to God that it wouldn't eat me in my sleep. I'm getting a little older now and still learning what I think about those depressive tendencies. But I know with all of my heart that the same God that kept me alive then is the same one that holds my hand when I'm weak. And he gives me hugs when I weep. And I don't want smoke to be the reason for my rock and roll. And I don't want substance to be the reason my body bleeds. Well, prone to wander, Lord, I feel it. But if you'd hold on to me, I promise to do my best to keep on trying to believe. So come thou fount of every blessing, and tune my heart to sing your praise.
Streams of mercy never, ever, 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 ever ceasing. Call for songs of loudest praise. So teach me some melodious sonnet, sung by flaming tongues above. And praise your name, I am fixed upon it. The name of Christ, unchanging love. I'm convinced that the love of God is as boundless as the seas, were it to overflow into the expanses of all of creation's boundaries. For the water to rush like waves, were we the innumerable grains of sand carried in its storm towards a timelessness, held in a sovereign hand. Eternity would be the first to sing that it was not enough, and it would spill forth into another in an effort to contain such a love. I am convinced that the grace of God is as incomprehensible as the space that the seas of love would have spilled into as they pour forth and cover all of our shame. Would all eternity be swathed, were we the innumerable stars in the sky, swept away into a righteousness clearly seen by redeeming eyes, eternity would be the first to sing that it was out of place, were it to be supposed that it would be sufficient to contain such a grace. And I am convinced, despite it all, in everything that we go through, in everything that we are, that the joy of God, and that it's as insurmountable as the heights of which the oceans of love and grace are subject to spill over into life. For all of hell to bear its swords, were we the innumerable elect led into war behind a white horse, a king who defeated sin and death, eternity would be the first to sing that it could not possibly employ a volume or song sufficient enough to describe such a joy. At the cross of Christ, I know. Thank you. Thank you, guys.